Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to talk about because a lot of people are upset at Grow Garden. As you know, the most recent update dropped, and this actually is by far probably the worst update we have ever received inside the entire game. And that is simply because of how much of the content that was supposed to be in the update was delayed. And as you know, this portal right here called the Trader World was supposed to come out inside of this update. A lot of people were excited about this because this would take off a lot of the pay to win inside of Grow Garden, and I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. When the update released though, as you can see, it started with this thing saying it has a coming soon thing with 6 days left on it, and originally this was supposed to be with the rest of the update that came out today, as such as this Trader Troy guy. Oh, and don't get me started with him. There's a lot to talk about him. But basically, what this trading world was a complete revamp to the current trading system we have in the game. As you know, in order to make an actual trade right now, you have to go to the gear shop, you have to buy a trading ticket, and then bring out this ticket in front of somebody else and then trade with them. It's not the worst system. It's actually a little bit more unique in comparison to other games. However, the developers were going to change this completely. The worst part about all of this is they let everybody join the Grow a Garden dev server in order to find this dupe bug bounty of $5,000. That is also crucial to why it is actually not in the game with us. This new system was very diverse. It was very different from what we currently have in the game, and because of how complex it was, they had to get a lot of people to test it. So at some point, there was literally like 1,000 people just testing this update before it had even came out, and every single person that was testing the update saw this portal open. This right here is what it looked like inside of the testing server before the updates had came out. After a few hours though, it seems as if the developers ran into a massive bug, and this is probably because they put a bounty on a duping glitch, where if a duping glitch was present in the game, it'd be very bad if it actually got released, into like the main game. And if you don't know what duping is, it's basically like, for example, me having just this single junk bot pet, and then I do some glitch, and now all of a sudden I have two of them. It's very broken, and it's actually not supposed to be a part of the game, so that's why the developers had to actually put this thing down. Now, this thing gets a whole lot worse because they did something after they turned off this trading world that made people really over the edge and probably honestly like cooked this game. We all already know by now that Grow a Garden has literally been getting destroyed by Steal a Brain Rot for the last few months, and that is completely because people have just lost interest in the game, and Steal a Brain Rot has definitely been making way better decisions. And one of the worst decisions this game for some reason thought was a great idea to do was this new update. They completely just removed this and didn't actually replace it with anything else other than saying it's actually coming next weekend instead. What they also went and did was introduce the Trader Troy. This guy was a little bit better when I was actually testing him, and now it's a completely scam update. If you actually talk to this guy, you can see he has this little streak system. If you say, show me trade rewards, this is all of the possible rewards you can get him, with the best rewards being at streak 12 plus of, getting a 20% chance at a silver lollipop. The problem with this is, if I go ahead, just skip the requirement, because let's just say I have 20 corn, right? I don't even want to waste time getting it, but let's say I do that. One, you can see the streak resets in 1 hour and 9 minutes, but I cannot even start on the next trade until 9 more minutes have passed. This is actually every hour, and this streak timer is every 2 hours. So after you submit something, you have to wait 1 hour to try and get whatever is coming next, and you only have 1 hour to do that before your entire streak resets and you don't even get the reward. Oh yeah, and if you don't know what that means every single hour you can only get 1 reward, which, unless you have the best streak, which is nearly impossible, because I mean, who is just going to be playing this game for 12 hours straight? But yeah, unless you have the best streak, it's kind of cooked. One of the things I think the developers could have made a big progression on was making bigger gardens. That is literally something that we were actually promised to get a few weeks ago. When the developers said to make these server size 4, they made it to where we can make it to where that, we just are able to expand our plot a lot more. Bro, I had such a hard time just saying that. But the point is, they actually have done none of that. So there has actually been no updates to the growing, garden size type of thing. And we've been sitting at the same plot for a very long time now. One of the first times we were able to expand has been the only time ever since. And that was like a few months ago, bro. Like 4 or 5 months ago. And they thought that releasing this Trader Troy for some reason would be enough to hold us up for a week. Now, I should say they did also, release a brand new Transcendent seed. You got the Octobloom seed inside the game now, which is a pretty cool seed. I do like it, and it's a nice thing. However, when the entire update is missing any content, it's just not as fun. Oh, I should also mention that with this update, we actually got no brand new mutations. Or if we did get any mutations, it was definitely not a part of any type of event. One thing I think the developers could have done is maybe reintroduce some of the weather events that are not actually possible to get. Make them to where they can happen every single hour or something. That would actually just be so cool, because not only was the admin abuse just not the craziest thing in the world, but that would allow people to get some maybe admin abuse weather events every single hour. That would be very fun to play through, and that would actually give people a reason to want to stay in the game, because this guy clearly does not do that whatsoever. This is the first update inside the game where it feels like we actually literally have like no content and no event. Fun fact, the one thing is that this is supposed to be a smithing update part 2 event. The developers literally originally planned to add more to the smithing update. The reason why this reward, if you actually go to his stuff, show me the trade rewards, and the reason why this thing is called the gem chest was because it was literally supposed to be part of the smithing event. And of course, they decided to randomly void it the week that I decided to make a video. I made a video saying that I got early access to the next updates, and I literally saw everything that was being made. At the time I'm recording that video, the smithing event was getting updated. They were adding more stuff to that event, and they actually were working on the trading world. Hence why I made that video, to inform you guys on how you can really get ready for it. A few hours after I released that video, the developers were like, yeah, let's just remove the smithing event. They posted this saying, say goodbye to the smithing update. We want to focus on the trade world as the main update, and we have a simple mini event instead. Obviously, the trading world didn't make it in this update. Now, because of that change, I get comments like this where someone's like, I don't believe you anymore. You told us in a previous video that we have to collect coal, stop crafting, and you promised that we continue crafting next week, which I really did think that was the case. I was sure that the craft table will be here next week. I had even didn't got my rewards, or I don't know what that means, but finally you disinformated us. Thanks. Now, for anyone that literally had this problem, I'm extremely sorry, because I was not told of this change. No, they don't tell us anything until they have finally made the change. All the developers do is tell us to constantly test, and then randomly everything gets changed last minute. And that's what really sucks about trying to get videos out early for you guys, so that way you can be the first to see it before everybody else, is that sometimes the developers make changes that I'm no longer able to show. And the best thing I'm able to do is literally comment things like this on the video saying, FYI, it seems like the devs' focus has shifted away from the smithing updates, so don't worry about getting coal. And I said to spend them fast. YouTube unfortunately just doesn't let us edit videos after it's been posted, so I can't change anything in the video, and it sucks when, some things aren't true anymore. But moving forward, I'll be sure that it's the last minute and that there is going to be no more changes made before I actually upload another video like this, because it seems like the developers do this every single week now. Participating in this event is an absolute scam. I mean, I've showed you guys what all of these pets do. I mean, none of them are really good. The pack meal is somewhat good because, you know, it can increase the weight of your pets, but that is about it. And then you also have the gem chest where you can get the bearded dragon, and that has its own ability. I believe the bearded dragon, like, just gives you, like, eggs or something. But I do gotta say, we cannot send any hate or any criticism really to the developers at the moment because, to be honest, they did have a lot more planned. The unfortunate fact is that they waited very late to actually start implementing the update, so that way when they noticed there was a big problem with the trading world over here, they were actually just not able to release it, and there was no time for them to make more content. But I mean, there is so many leaks to actually show you guys. This trading world was its own entire game. Literally kind of like Please Donate and PetSim99 where you can trade your stuff. I mean, look at all of this, bro. We got trading UIs and stuff. Like, look, they added this brand new tokens currency that you could literally buy stuff that costed Robux with, which is so cool. And then you add things such as plants, pets, and booths in skins on top of a wrap index, which literally told you values of pets inside of the game. You add this entire brand new trade menu. And also, as you can see, the empty space is basically where, like, players' usernames would be. Overall, there was this entire currency inside this brand new update to where, for example, if I wanted to buy the exotic gem chest and I didn't have Robux, I would be able to purchase it without any Robux as long as I had this tokens currency. And once again, here's more. I mean, you got the trade booth skins, which is really cool. Are you sure you want to unlist this item? This is basically to take something off of your booth or to add something onto your booth, and you could like look at other people's inventories, their plants, their pets, their skins, and your trade history, bro. It's so cool. Like, create a listing. How much would you want to list this item for sale? It's so cool. They definitely did have a lot of effort put in. I cannot say they did not. However, the one thing I really hope they do next week, since they already basically have this trading world update done, is I really hope they work on a really good update. Because this update, for the most part, it's done other than the bugs that they came across. But if the developers only release this next week, then that is just straight up like laziness, because there is no good event in the game right now. This guy needs to go away. There's also a very good chance he's gonna get buffed. I mean, there's no way they're gonna keep him in the game like this. This guy's an absolute scam. Like, if you want to go to school and you want to keep your streak, bro, like, you have to spend 99 Robux to get your streak back. Oh, do you have a job in real life? I'm sorry, you cannot go to that. You have to spend another 99 Robux if you want to, you know, restore your streak. And all of that just for one item every single hour. The developers even went to the point where they added a trading pin, and this literally allows people to make passwords to where you cannot get scammed. Look, set a 4-digit trading pin that must be entered to trade when you start a trade. You could even reset your pin or reset with a recovery phase, literally in case you forgot your pin. And man, don't get me started with the amount of boosts they had, bro. Look at all of these sick boosts. Like, what? This stuff is so cool, and you're telling me none of this unfortunately made it to the game this week. And oh, look at that new trade, and I got 58 minutes to do this, and yeah, it literally takes an hour. Like, if I do not do this within this hour, my streak resets completely. It's crazy how this update was set up. They did also change the prompt for this guy. Now he said, the trading world is coming soon. Look forward to fancy boots and something else. I didn't get to see that. Wait, what did he say? Fancy boots and cool items. So yes, there will be rewards, and there's gonna be like these type of crates that you can open to get boot skins. This right here was one of the 2 crates that was supposed to guarantee a bunch of free boot skins inside of the new update. But sadly, like I said, all of this has just been postponed, man. And it sucks to see this because all we get is this guy. Like, bro, I have never hated an NPC as much as I hate you, bro. If I had any suggestions for the developers, though, is to add some midweek content. And it doesn't even have to be a lot. Even if we can literally expand our plot like one direction, that is perfectly fine. As long as we get something, I think a lot of players will be happy, especially if we can get that NPC to be changed. Maybe just even bring back the smithing update. The smithing update wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but it was way better than this guy over here. And it was actually kind of enjoyable because it was a full-on event that we had rather than just kind of this like little exchanging process. That could also be a part of this event, and overall that would give us something to do until this trading world comes out next week. I'm very interested to know what feedback you guys have for this update, though. I think the developers can still make this right, make this event better overall, or at least this NPC guy better, because he's just not fun to play with at all, man. And maybe have this thing where every single hour, literally just like place a board somewhere right here in the game, and it says like in 1 hour, you have like some sort of event happening. It'd be so cool to see, because then that way, you know, in case you did not participate in the admin abuses, you get to get some of the mutations. It gives people a chance, because not everyone can make it to the admin abuse times. But if you enjoyed this video, please hurry up and click this video on the screen right here. I went ahead and picked it for you myself. I really think you're gonna like it, so click it fast, because this video is about to end. And until then, I'll catch you in the next one. Hurry, click it. Bye.